Oh, hello. What's going on, guys? Fuck you, phone. Yeah, this is the next game. I was kind of just sitting here wondering what I'm doing, and realized that suddenly I hadn't actually started, like made a video in a while, and I was like, "Oh, what am I doing at the moment? What are my projects of videos at the moment?" And then, yeah, this came along and it made sense again. So it kind of just struck me like 5 minutes ago. I just finished watching the game, and I was thinking like, what can I do? I want to talk about it, and then it kind of dawned on me that that was what the point of this was all about. So yeah, I've just finished watching it on ITV, which is one of the channels over here in the UK for anyone that watches this from abroad. They got the viewing license for the World Cup this year, so they've been doing it all. This again is on medium. A little bit weird on these controls. Give me a second. I haven't played with the England team at all or anything. Okay, phone, fuck you, go away. I'm going to put that on silent while I'm playing, so that's not going to work. Okay, I forgot to put it on silent. Basically, wait, what's going on? Oh dear God, this is not going well. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. But anyway, I just finished watching the England game, and mixed opinions on that. We'll go into that later. The team here isn't obviously authentic or resembles... Oh, go on Robinson, you beast. Doesn't really resemble the team that just played at all, apart from like a couple of players. I got the centres correct today. Got Harpe and Tuilangian. Scored 3 tries between them. If you haven't seen the game, well, you get spoilers now, because I'm going to go through pretty much like how the game played out in real life, and then you'll obviously see how the game plays out for me on here. England were pretty much held quite well in the first half by Georgia, who met them quite physically. They went at half-time 17-10. It was quite close, I would say, especially in the first half. Georgia just eventually began to run out of steam, really, and that's when England took it in the second half, with the final score being 41-10. They scored 6 tries between them. Flood converted 4 and got a penalty. Georgia got 1 penalty and 1 converted try, so that's their 10 points. So after the first half, England really did start to run away with it. They settled in relatively well, picked up the tempo a bit, and it actually worked out pretty well. I was a little bit more happy with with how England played, actually. But to begin with, I was quite worried. I didn't know if they were going to do too well. It did look quite close. I guess I had known the result beforehand, so I knew they ran away with it in the second half. But watching it didn't strike out as being anything. Oh, for God's sake! Didn't strike me as being anything incredible, if I'm totally honest. Come on. It's so hard to do this. I admire the people that do successful live commentary. Oh, for fuck's sake. Wow, that's bad. How does... whatever. Okay. So, I don't know. If anybody watched the game, I wonder what you guys thought of it. We've got Romania next, which should be a slightly easier game. But again, it's another physical team that isn't incredibly fit. The only reason I think that we got such a runaway with Georgia is because suddenly they were just an incredibly unfit team. They lasted a half, and by the end of that half they were, blowing out the backside, so they were tired. And England, just because they're such a higher standard of, I guess they are better players anyway, but Georgia were playing so that England struggled a lot of the time in the first half, at least, to actually get anywhere, because I don't know whether it was just how they've been told to play, but they weren't making a lot of sort of manoeuvres, apart from spontaneous manoeuvres that made them look like they knew they had a bit of flair in the game. I guess Harpy's runaway try at the start was kind of unexpected from both teams. He made 50. He just basically broke away from the side of a breakdown and legged it down the pitch. I guess nobody really saw that one coming, not even himself. But that was quite good. I thought from there, England, oh my God, they're going to just charge through Georgia. But turns out, in fact, Georgia came back with a bit of a vengeance and put a try back at them, actually. Pretty soon after, they had a disallowed try right afterwards. Harpe scored again, which then you thought, well, maybe they won't struggle at all this half. And then Georgia put penalty through, holding out against England there, starting to climb away at them. Flood then restored the 14-point lead just before half-time with a sneaky penalty, so 17-3, and literally just before, maybe a couple of minutes before, Dylan Hartley, who's the hooker, which is in the forwards, he got sin-binned for playing around hands in the ruck, and then basically they scored from that. And all of a sudden it was like, wow, England just got shaken up. They were a man down, and Georgia got some momentum. I think if half-time hadn't come like just right after that, then England might have conceded again, whether it be in the form of a reckless penalty or maybe more the same with a try. Georgia did look quite strong in the first half actually, and especially on the high from their score, from their points on the board. You would have thought that England would have suddenly been on the back foot then, and I think that could have changed the game quite considerably actually. But alas, if that's the right phrase to put in there, yeah, England managed to hold out a little bit longer, and eventually turned out pretty well. Fuck, come on Ashton, let's go. Let's go, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So that was a bit of an event. The second half, of course, as I said, just got stormed away. Armitage went over after a disallowed try. Tuilangi smashed through the middle, shook off two guys, put a try down, and then Ashton got two. One of them was a break from I'm going to say Tom Wood, I think, who broke away in like the midfield area about 50 metres out, and Ashton ran in on his inside shoulder, popped it up, and Ashton sprinted about 30 metres in to get his try with a famous swan dive. If anyone knows who Chris Ashton is or follows the rugby at all, watched it maybe, his sort of trademark thing after he scores is to swan dive as he scores even, which is what you can probably see when I leap into the air if I go over in this game. That's just called a swan dive really. There's not a lot to it. And then yeah, the game from there, England suddenly, as I said, they picked up the tempo a bit. They seemed to settle in a bit better. Sort of getting into their stride. Their plays were much more smooth. I think Georgia were just tired as well, so they weren't finding as hard competition, especially at the breakdown where Georgia were quite a physical team. That's where you'd expect them to do. Bloody, that was forward. Gone Harper, you beast. And pretty much after that, yeah, England, as I say, just sort of made their game much smoother. It was flowing much better for them, and yeah, they took it away with a lot of tries by the end of the game at least, which is good. I'm happy to see that England have actually got something going there, and that eventually they're showing that they're actually a worthy team. But it did take them a while to get to the stage, and I think that against a stronger team they are going to struggle considerably. Maybe Scotland, maybe Scotland will prove the team that will shake them up a bit. I don't really want them to. I'm quite happy for us to not lose a game in the pool. That I think that would set us up for the knockout stages very well. I think if we win the pool stage, we play New Zealand's group, second place, which I think will be France. There doesn't seem to be a lot else in that group. There's Tonga, Japan, and I want to say Canada, but I don't think that's right. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But that should be quite an easy game. Let's say France. They're not looking very good at the moment. They are looking quite shaky, I think. So that could be quite an easy one. We beat them in 2007 in the semi-final. Fuck you, phone. Shut up. Go away. Go away. Let's throw it out of my room. It's a bit loud and a bit frustrating. Oh, whoops. We can take that. What else rugby-wise can I talk about? That is pretty much what I talk about in these videos. It's my little outlet where I'm going to get to talk about rugby for, well, a small amount of time that this World Cup lasts. Go on, Ashton, you big beast. Let's put it in the corner, shall we? Oh, maybe not. Fuck you, phone. Unfortunately, this wasn't how the Georgia game went. I wish it did. This would have been much more impressive, but for anyone that wonders, yeah, as I said, I do play rugby. I got a little question about like how my rugby works and stuff. I guess that's the way to put it. It's hard to explain that really. There we go. Basically, how am I supposed to explain that? I play for a team. Funnily enough, I've been playing for them for about, yeah, as I said, about 11 years. Go away, phone. Damn. Why is it got so much people? Stop doing stuff on Twitter. I can't hear myself speak. 1 second. Right. Resume game. There we go. Fine. I'm calm. I'm calm. God, that was annoying. Right. This little beep all the time. Okay, so how would I explain my rugby? Well, I've been playing for 11 years in a team. We're actually a pretty good team. Like in our area, basically this year at least. I don't know how this will work. There's four different leagues in like the area that I'm in England. There's like 4 different leagues for like the north area of the Midlands, then like the middle of the Midlands, the south of the Midlands, and a little part like the East Midlands. I think have got another league, and basically they turn into cutting people. They've got like 4 teams in each thing, and I think basically it takes the top teams go into the plate competition. Sorry, the cup competition, then the plate, then the bowl, and whatever else there is, the spoon. I guess I have no idea what the other 2 are, the bottom 2. And basically it breaks down like that, and if it depends on what place you get in the league as to what place you get in. What the fuck just happened there? Oh, come on. How did he... That was a crazy pass. Basically... Oh, come on! Give me a break, fullback. What happens basically is that if you do well in your league, you get into the higher competitions, which is obviously what you want, but at the same time you've got to think like you're going to be then playing against incredibly strong teams. I know that if we happen to win it, it's likely that we play Worcester, who are the strongest team like around this area at all. They're just incredible. Their main team obviously plays in the highest division of rugby in England and Wales. I believe it's the Guinness Premiership at the moment, but it changes all the time, so I don't know what it actually is. So we'll see how that goes. Basically, if we get there, that's who we'd play. We played what was supposed to be our first league game today against a team called Moseley. And the referee didn't turn up, and because we're quite like under 17s now, and also you've got to have like a proper society ref or a district ref to do it, so it's not biased. So basically, he didn't turn up, so we just played what was called a friendly. Obviously, rugby isn't the most friendly sport. One of our players went to hospital. I think he's broken his nose. We're not too sure what happened to him. We've been told he broke his nose. But yeah, that's just a lovely taster of how friendly our sport is. Yeah, so it was quite rough. They had we were quite a small team. We're a pretty fast team, pretty agile team, pretty fit team. We're like athletically fit, but and a lot of them play at a high level. A lot of the guys in my team play quite good standard of rugby outside of my club. But basically, what we do struggle with is these guys who are massive. We were playing Moseley and Nowen, where I'm from, for one of their wingers. Bloody hell, what happened there? He used to be incredible because he was a lot bigger and he was incredibly quick as well. And he used to be really effective, but he wasn't. He only played about a half, and he wasn't doing a lot. In fact, I'd say, well, he wasn't that effective at all. He was just an incredibly dirty player. In American football, I know you're allowed to sort of run into each other and put each other on the floor. Rugby, you've got to. It's the law that you have to then basically get hold of someone with your arms. You can't just run into them and shoulder barge them down. And about 4 times he did that. He just knocked people out, not like physically knock them out, but like knock them into touch or just knock them to the ground just by running straight into them with his shoulder. He wasn't attempting to put his arms around at all. He just shoulder check people, body check people onto the floor. And the ref, who we basically had our coach refed our half, like the first half, their coach refed the second half, just to try and give it some attempt at fairness. And that it was obviously when he came on, it was the second half, and the ref just let him get away with murder. We don't know if that was just bias. They did give him two penalties, but at high level of rugby, like if that happened in the World Cup, that's usually a direct sin bin, if not a red card anyway. So we were amazed that he didn't get sent off, not only after the first or second time. Like first time, oh yeah, well maybe he just made a mistake, whatever, it was a bad encounter, whatever. But the fact is, the ref even mentioned it again and again and again, and he wouldn't do anything about it. The guy was pretty cocky. He was pretty sure that, you know, our team was obviously in the wrong, blah blah blah. And one of my mates, who was playing on the wing, got hold of him, round like the upper body, like across the neck, put him on the floor, and he went fucking psycho about it. And it's like, bit of a double standard, really, a bit of a hypocrite for shit tackles and whatever. But yeah, he was made out to be incredibly good. In memory, he really was quite effective, but he didn't look anything special. It was a bit of a disappointing loss, actually. We were in the lead till about the last. We played 70 minutes. We were in the lead till about the last 15-20 minutes. we thought we had it in the bag. We went out there with a weak team. We're missing about 8 players maybe out of our first string team, with either other commitments or injury. We've got quite a few people injured, so we're really struggling for numbers at the moment. We had 2 subs. We had 17 players. We went there with 17. As I said, we had quite a few injuries as well, and obviously the guy, one of my mates, going off to hospital, keeps him out for not only like now but a few more weeks, I suspect. They, on the other hand, home team, they had over 20. They must have had like 21, 22 people, which is 7 subs. Play with 15 on the pitch. They just rolled subs on and off in the second half, and we were shattered, like really exhausted. It was a hard game. We really did play well actually. I thought we were going to win it. I mean, at the end though, they were out. They were knackered, and they'd been rolling people on and off. And we managed to keep pace with them, which Moseley are a strong team anyway. We knew we were going to into a high game. They are quite well known as a team, but they're also quite well known as quite a rough team, which we sort of didn't expect. 2 guys on their team looked like 20. They had a prop who was huge and black, and they had a number 8 who was huge and black. And not really being like racist or anything, but those guys were massive, like huge, like ridiculously big, and it was a bit stupid. I mean, one of my mates absolutely knocked one of them down, a huge tackle actually, a bit like that you just saw. I wonder if I get that synced right so that makes sense. But yeah, no, we got some big hits on these guys, and they got some big hits in return. I guess putting the guy in hospital, that's a pretty big hit at the end of the day. But it was close. It was close. It just was annoying to lose it at the end there. We all knew, like, we were just too tired, we were too exhausted to keep going. It was really hard work because these guys were huge. They were battering us, and the thing was, they were bringing fresh legs on all the time. They had in the second half their ref, who our ref was actually pretty good. I know it's me saying that, but they didn't seem to have any complaints in the second half. Even they were just it was just annoyingly. Not really biased, but it just wasn't working for us at all. Like, we would get some really weird calls, not like bad calls, but weird. Like, okay, I'll let that happen, but how does that work? Well, actually, saying that, there was a pretty bad call. We had a penalty, about 20 something meters out. We're in the 22, I think. And our captain, which is what you're supposed to go through, he said to the ref, he says, "Can you watch them for?" Because they're quite rough, you know. Can you watch them for when they're hitting people in the tackle, not like tackling them, but like smacking them? And the ref goes, "I won't have any more of that attitude," or something like that, or "I'll have less of that cheek. Reverse the penalty." And we're thinking, well, how are we supposed to tell you? Because you won't pay attention to anyone on the touchline. That's not supposed to happen. But you won't listen to us, and we are, I don't know, we're not speaking to you. We're putting it to our captain, which is what you're supposed to do. And I don't know. Some things sometimes are just. They weren't refs. They were coaches at the end of the day, and they're obviously like qualified to ref, but they haven't refed in a while. So I guess you just sort of let it happen. But it was a bit annoying at the end of the day. But what is there? You can't do anything about it. But yeah, that's me talking a lot. That's you watching all the rugby. I'm kind of wishing I could make these videos a bit shorter actually, because I don't even know how I managed to make 20 minutes out of a game which is supposed to have 10-minute halves. All these cutscenes add up, I guess. But yeah, if any of you watch the game, or if any of you want anything else, I do have a little bit of Bad Company 2 left. I've got like 1 gameplay from Black Ops. I'm trying to think. I don't actually have anything else really. That was it. I've got like maybe a couple of videos of Bad Company 2 left, if I cut the stuff together, because a lot of it is quite boring. So I might just make 1 or 2, not montages, but like gameplay highlights, and talk over that instead, because that's a bit more entertaining for you guys. I don't really have an issue with people who do that, although I know there's a couple of people that are like, "Oh, why make a montage? It just makes you look better than you are." Well, I just prefer to be entertained than anything else. But that's it, guys. I'll just wrap this up with a cheeky kick, and I'll give myself something to sync on as well, which is a bit of a weird point to sync on in the video, but you know, I'll counter myself off, I guess, is the way to say it. So that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. It is a bit long, so if you have made it this long, I appreciate you and your face. And that is exit.